In this video, we discuss graduated loan repayment plans and how you can take advantage of them. But before we start, there's one thing that I want to emphasize. Graduated repayment plans are complex simply because they're different for everybody, because they're based on your personalized situation. So if you decide that you want to follow this strategy or look into this strategy and you want some help, let us know, and you can shoot us an email at info@fitbucks.com. So first things first, what is a graduated loan? First thing, they are only available on federal loans, not private loans. And what the federal government will allow you to do is to decrease your loan payments in the beginning years. And you can decrease them if you qualify as low as making an interest-only payment. Now, over time, they then increase. So what ends up happening is you might pay, the same payment for 2 years or 4 years, and then they increase after that. So to illustrate, we'll use an example. And in our example, we make the following assumptions. 1, that the loan is 10 years. And 2, that for the first 4 years, you are paying interest only. And then the last 6 years, you're paying principal and interest. So to illustrate how this works, we'll assume that you have 3 loans. The first 2 are at $20,000 apiece, and then the third loan that you have is at $50,000. And the interest rates are 4%, 5.2%, and 6.8% respectively. Now the key number to focus on is this required monthly payment. So in a 10-year principal and interest payment, you are going to be paying $991.98 a month. But as you recall, we said that you qualify for the graduated loan repayment, and for the first 4 years, it's interest only. So that means that your required monthly payment is $436 a month. Now, I'll pause right there because most people that go into this plan, that's where they stop. And they say, yay, I'm happy because I just saved over $500 a month. Well, the problem with that is that in the long run, if that's all you do, you're going to cost yourself a lot of money. So you have to follow through with the rest of this strategy. And the first part of that is from day one, you continue making that $991.98 payment every single month. And then from there, you allocate the difference between that $991 and your required payment to prepay the highest interest rate loan first. And we do that simply because it's the highest interest rate. So the faster you can pay that down, the more money you save. So to illustrate the benefit, we fast forward to month 48. That means your last monthly payment of interest-only payments. And as you'll see here, the big difference is that this principal payment in loan number 3 underneath a regular 10-year payment plan, you're only allocating $380 of your monthly payment to paying down that principal. Whereas in the graduated repayment plan, you're actually allocating $724 to pay that loan number 3 down. And as you can see, you end up saying, okay, well, every month I'm actually paying off more towards principal relative to the 10-year payment. And the key to that is that your remaining principal balance after month 48 is lower. And that's always our goal in repaying our loans, is to get that amount to 0 as quickly as possible. But now you might be saying, okay, well, after this month, it turns into a principal and interest loan. So what happens then? So what ends up happening, as you'll notice, is that you have your required monthly payment of $966. That means for 6 years, that's what you would require to pay. But as you recall, I said you always make the $991 payment every month. So that means you're making a prepayment of $25. And again, you allocate that to loan number 3 first because that's the highest interest rate loan. And then once that's paid down, you then allocate your prepayment to loan number 2. And once that's paid down, you then prepay and pay down 100% of the payment to loan 1. Therefore, your payment always is at $991.98. if not higher. So what ends up happening is, first, your payment is exactly the same as if you would have just stayed in the 10-year standard repayment plan. However, you end up saving $2,210, and you have your loan repaid in 118 months versus 120. So even if you plan on just making payments over 10 years, going into this plan would still benefit you, and your monthly payment never went up. This strategy, although complex, can increase your financial outlook and your FitBucks score in the long run. To see how this can be applied to your personal situation, or if you would want help looking at this or other strategies, shoot us an email at info@fitbucks.com, or you can watch other videos at our Knowledge Center located at www.fitbucks.com.